Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's see if we are going to be live. All right. I'm not sure if we're live yet. We will see now. I'll make a nice dessert today. Are we live across platform?
YouTube is up and running. Looks like Rumble's going to be right behind it.
Okay, Rumble should pop up any moment. All right, hi to YouTube. Rumble is not up yet. Should take a second. It should be there now. Is it there yet? Just refresh it.
I'm not seeing it. I'm refreshing.
Oh, sorry, we're doing our first dual stream today. So, Rumble there yet?
Rumble's got a black screen. I'm going to see what's going on.
Let me see. Right, hold on. Is it there yet?
Rumble's got a black screen.
Ah. Right. Well, it definitely did something. So let's see. There we go. All right. Sorry, buggy software. Buggy software. All right. It's just me and the missus, and you know, we have to both press buttons. So, good afternoon, goeiemorgen. Let me see if I don't burn down my kitchen today. All right, so we are going to be making a traditional South African dessert called a Malva Pudding. So it's pretty cool, and I'm going to show you guys how to make that. It's not that complicated. It's just got a lot of steps in it. So I didn't prep anything else. We'll see how far we get. Maybe I throw something in on the side, maybe. But it consists basically of 3 parts, which is okay. So let me start like this. It's called a Malva Pudding, all right, and it consists of 3 sections. It's a cake, and then it gets a syrup which saturates the cake, and then it gets, when you serve it, you put a custard over it, like a dessert custard. So we're going to make all 3, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Very nice. I do not have a whisk, which is a problem. I'll use this. This will be fine. I can use that for the custard. We're not making a complicated custard. We're going to make the cheat custard in a can custard, which is real simple. All right, so I'm going to try and get the recipes done, man. I know everybody's on my case about the recipes. I'm going to try and get them done. But I think let's start with this because I don't want to hang around too long and then run out of time. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with 200 grams of, sorry, not 200, 220 grams, basically a cup of sugar. All right, and we're going to be adding to the cup of sugar, we're going to be adding a tablespoon of butter. So for all those unfamiliar, a tablespoon is basically 15 grams. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zero my scale, and then I'm going to weigh my tub on my scale, and I'm going to add to that, because anything under 50, I found that these scales are generally not very accurate if it's under 15 grams. All right, so let me do that. All right, that's it, 15 grams. So we've got some butter, and we've got some sugar. All right, and what we're going to do is, this is called creaming the butter and sugar. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically stir the butter into the sugar. All right, to try and rub the butter into the sugar. All right, so we're gonna rub the butter into the sugar. All right, and you just basically stir it through. All right, until it breaks up a little bit, and then we're going to add some eggs to this. We're going to add 1 whole egg to this. Let me see. Yeah, and we'll do the
Sarge
egg.
does say hello.
Hey, Sarge. Nice of you to pop into the stream, man. You must get your missus to make this dessert for you. I promise you, man, you'll never eat another dessert again. Give me a second. I'm going to grab some egg.
And let's not forget Big Floppa on YouTube.
Oh, yes. Well, we're doing our first cross-platform stream today. So we've got Big Floppa on YouTube tuned in. So that's pretty awesome. We're trying to dual stream. We see how that goes. I've not done that. So I'm going to add 1 egg, which is 60 grams. All right, so we're going to add that in here. All right, and again, my cheat eggs, I do the liquid eggs. All right, which makes it much easier because then I don't have to break the egg up.
Nate Kelly 1 says hello as well.
Hey, Nate. Yeah, I saw you in the court ring. So you mentioned you might drop by. So very cool to see you, sir. All right, so now we're going to do the eggs with the butter and the sugar. Now I'm going to give you a few tips on these things, which I might need the missus to run around for me once or twice. But I'm going to give you a few tips which help me with baking. So one of the things, like this recipe needs milk. So if you like, we've got butter in this. Would you mind bringing me a jug? We've got butter in this recipe. So if you have butter in recipes, all right, and I'll show you what I do with this. I'll show you now. So if you've got butter in your recipes, all right, then you want to no, small jug. So if you've got butter in your recipes and you've got something like milk that comes out of the fridge, what tends to happen is the fat solids tend to go and re-solidify in the what's the name in the mix. So what you have is it kind of splits away because now you put the cold milk in with a butter that's mixed with the sugar and stuff, and then some of the fat actually solidifies. So what I do is I actually take my milk. Now I used to run it sous vide 24/7, or not 24/7, or like 18 hours a day. The time I was here, so I used to switch my sous vide, which is I used to switch my sous vide on, and then while the sous vide runs, I just used to take, like, I would put my milk in a pot, and I would just pop the pot on top of the lid, or I would like float the pot in the water, and then I would just heat the milk that way, because you don't want it boiling. You want to break the cold in it, so the milk doesn't re-solidify the butter solids, the fat solids in the butter. So that's basically what you're looking for. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask my missus to take this, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to need some hot water in a little second. So I'm going to get this done. Just pop this. So the default kind of rule of thumb is pretty much a minute of microwaving for every cup of milk. We're going to use a cup of milk, 250 grams. And try and not miss the jug. All right, that's a little more. And what I told someone the other day is basically if you use the cap is 10 grams. So your cap will be 10 grams every time. All right, so that's just a tad over. That's fine. Can you zap this for me? Say 50 seconds, because a minute's about boil, so maybe 50 seconds. Give it a little bit less, and then I'll cool it here. So I'm just heating the milk so it doesn't solidify some of the fat in the so this is pretty much. So let me see if I can.
I've got a few comments if you have a second.
Sure.
I've got pita broccoli on. A lot of desserts start out with butter and sugar cream together until fluffy.
Yes.
Then an egg.
Yes.
What's the result going to be?
Oh, the result will be the same. I mean, you can mix the butter. Sometimes the butter is a little hard, and also this has got a very small. So a lot of them have a lot more butter to sugar. This has got a little bit of sugar. So all you want to do, you can actually grab it and do it by hand. You'll find a lot of recipes will also start like that. If you make like a flour, you first rub your butter. So you can actually put gloves on. And you just rub your butter into your dough. And then it makes it a very nice kind of light, crispy, crumbly recipe. But I'll show you. So this is what the cream looks like. The kind of cream.
Sorry, they meant what is the dessert?
This is called a Malva pudding. So you can see this is what the kind of creamed butter and sugar with the eggs look like. So it's all the same. It's all the same.
Nate Kelly asked, where are you from? He guessed South Africa, and was correct.
Yes, from South Africa, from the capital, which is called Pretoria. So some people think there are three capitals. There's not. There's one capital. There's the mother city, which is Cape Town. It's not a capital. It's just the mother city because that's where South Africa was born out of. And then there's Bloemfontein, which is the Supreme Court and everything's in Bloemfontein. And then Pretoria is the capital. That's where our kind of like our version of your not White House. What's the big white building where everybody goes to?
Congress.
Yeah, that big white building kind of at the end of that straight where all the museums are. That thing. I don't know. My wife's American and she's looking at me with big eyes.
Don't
Anyway,
ask
the
me
Capitol
questions
building or
about
whatever.
Washington, D.C. I don't go to places full of Democrats. I'm sorry.
And then, would you do me a favor and get me? I forgot to get the tray, the aluminum tray, the big one that we make the bobotie in. All right. So this is butter, sugar, eggs, cream. So you can see what that looks like. That looks pretty decent. So let me show you again, so you can see. That looks real nice. If you guys can see that, let me see if I can do that. All right. So that looks pretty decent. All right, so the next thing, and this is going to be very strange because it's a completely different dessert than what you actually expect. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add, well, I'm not going to add it yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a tablespoon of apricot jam, all right? And then I'm going to do like 4 teaspoons, I guess. So it's a tablespoon plus a teaspoon of lemon juice on the apricot jam.
So someone mentioned that the shipping for Biltong would have been more than they could afford. Anton, can you tell them what's on Biltong USA and how you don't have to pay for shipping?
Oh yeah. So this stream is brought to you by BiltongUSA.com. So I'm a really bad shill of myself. I'm very good at shilling me on other podcasts. Nicole, will you give me another white spatula like this? I don't want to stick this one in the jam. There's the milk. So if you go to BiltongUSA.com, all right, if you go to BiltongUSA.com, or it will redirect you to landofbiltong.com. If you spend $49 on Biltong, shipping is free. $49.95, so basically $50. Then shipping is free. All right, so I take the lemon juice and the jam, and I'm just going to mix it up and break apart the big bits in this. All right, and I'm just going to make it so you can heat this up a little. I've got this range plate on, so if I want to add a little bit of heat, I can just throw it on there. It'll help break it up faster and make it more fine. So just a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of apricot jam. So this is going to add some sweetness to it, and the lemon juice will balance out the flavors. All right, so we're going to add that in.
We've got Noble Bushy saying hello and mentioning that their favorite is the Peri Peri Biltong.
Hey, how are you, Brian? Awesome, man. It was good seeing you this weekend. So we got the apricot jam. I'm going to put this down this side. So we got the apricot jam and the lemon juice. So that's basically 4 teaspoons or a tablespoon and a teaspoon of lemon juice, and then a tablespoon of apricot jam. So I'm going to mix this in, all right? And then what we got is we've got a little bit of salt. So I use Celtic salt, so I'm just going to grind this. You can do 3 grams, a teaspoon is fine. Just do it a flat teaspoon, don't go too big. And the Celtic salt is a coarse salt, so I don't like putting that in without grinding it, because depending on what you do, if it's very liquidy, it might dissolve, but otherwise you'll get bits of salt pockets. So there we go. That is 5 grams. 5 grams of salt. All right, salt, and then all right. So what else we got?
I've got Salty Muggerfugger who said the Peri Peri was great, just the right amount of heat.
Excellent, excellent. All right, so there we go. So that's, in a nutshell, that's our wet ingredients except for the milk. So I'm not going to put the milk in here yet. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the flour. And you basically do a cup of flour. Let's see. All right, we do a cup of flour. All right, which is 130 grams. I'm going to get a cup of flour. All right. I'll see. I hope this fits in that tray. It should. So 130 grams, making dust, of course. All right, and then we're going to do a half teaspoon, 2.5 to 3 grams of baking soda. So a half teaspoon baking soda. And I'm going to sift this because I don't want lumps. There we go. And then we're going to do a teaspoon. So the kind of rule of thumb is a teaspoon of baking powder on every tablespoon of, on every cup of flour. So a teaspoon of baking powder on every cup of flour. You can go a little more if you want. So we'll do 6 grams, which is just over 6-7 grams. Just a little over. All right. So that's our dry ingredients. All right, now we're going to sift this together. All right. All right, there we go. That's all good. So I'm going to stir this. I'll see if I use my mixer. You guys know my mixer.
You've been asked again what you are making. May have to repeat it a few times
okay,
when
so
we put in a show for that.
No problem.
Built on USA.
We are making a Malva pudding, which is a 3-step dessert. Which is it's a very traditional South African dessert. So I'm stirring this up. All right, and I'm just working the flour into the batter. So what we started off with was, and then again, like I say, our stream is brought to you by biltongusa.com. So go there and support us if you want to support us. All right, so we started off with a tablespoon of butter and a cup of sugar. All right, and then you basically cream that together. I add the eggs as I kind of rub the butter in, because it has so little butter, it's not a lot in the sugar. It's not a lot of butter in the sugar. All right, so this, you can see it's becoming a little bit more of a dough than a batter. All right, and then to that, so we add a tablespoon of butter, cup of sugar, 15 grams of butter, 220 grams of sugar, and then we had 1 egg, which is 60 grams. All right, if you're going to do the grams thing. All right, 60 grams of egg. All right, and then we had a tablespoon, so 15 grams of apricot jam, and we had 18 grams. So that's a tablespoon plus a teaspoon of lemon juice. All right, so this is now the result of up to that point of that dessert. Now, if you do it out of this order, you might have some lumps, but you can see that's a pretty clean dough. So now what we're going to do, and I'm going to set I have to at least use my mixer once. So
Blues Nut says hello as well.
Hey, how you, Blues? That's good. Yeah, it's like all the usual suspects. That's very nice. Very nice. I'm glad the chat's active, so everybody's talking. That's very cool. All right. So and then what I did. So if you want to recap, 15 grams of butter, which is a tablespoon, 220 grams of sugar, which is a cup, and then cream that together. But because there's not a lot of butter, you add your egg, which is 60 grams, 1 extra large egg, and you mix all of that up and get it all creamed up. And then from there, you add a tablespoon of jam. You add 4 teaspoons basically of lemon juice, so 18 grams and 15 grams. Mix them up together, and then you add a teaspoon of salt, 5 grams. And then Nicole wants to interrupt me.
Keep going.
No. What's up?
And a partridge in a pear tree.
And a partridge and a pear tree, in a pear tree. Yeah, we're almost that time of the year, right? So, and then you kind of you mix all of that together, and then you get your kind of loose batter. From there, you add a cup of flour. You add a half a teaspoon of baking soda, and you add a teaspoon of baking powder. And just for everybody's information, we are in my store, so ding dongs are customers coming in, and my kids run around here, and staff run around here, and all kinds of things are happening. So you might hear all kinds of different things. Now, once you've got the flour, baking powder, and baking soda all mixed in, you've got kind of almost a dough, not a batter. Now we're going to add the milk, all right? And this step, you've got to be a little careful. So this is where I try and use the mixer, because if you use your spatula, which I don't mind using, it just takes a minute to get it all mixed in.
Peter Broccoli just bought a kitchen scale to do the grams instead of cups and teaspoons.
Cool. You're gonna see, man. That'll elevate your baking like you cannot believe. At least what it'll do is it'll standardize. Is that the right word? Standardize? No, it'll give you consistency. That's the word I'm looking for. Sorry, I'm not. My main language is not English, so sometimes I try and figure. I'm thinking in a different language, and I've got to try and translate it, and then there's some fuck up between my brain and my mouth, and it won't come out. You know. So
no, everything else comes out.
Yes. And I've been accused of ass burgers, so I do sometimes say things a little bit more directly than people like, and then they get all offended and
you're just a
cry
little
their
confrontational.
Coffee. Yes, apparently I'm confrontational. To be fair, my wife, of course, is American, so she said when two of us Afrikaans people speak, it sounds like we are fighting.
It's just a little intimidating, but there's something to that accent, I have to admit.
All right, so now just to show you guys, so all right, so that's that done and blended. Let me put this where it won't make a mess. There we go. All right, so now we have a very light, very liquidy. So I'm going to try and show you this. Can you see that, Nicole? Very light, very runny. It almost looks like eggnog.
Yes.
It almost looks like eggnog. So I'll get these last little bits and pieces here. So I'll mix it in nicely. But that's pretty much where you go. It's almost like, it almost makes me think of eggnog, if I can put it that way. So you have that kind of feel. All right. And again, for those who are coming in now, so this is a Malva pudding. So this is an eggnog kind of consistency that we are at the end. All right. So now I'm going to take a chance and see if it'll fit in this. This is a 2-pound pan. That looks a little. I haven't. I don't make small scale like this. What I'm going to do is I've got like a 3rd pan here. I'm rather going to use this just to be safe, because it's going to proof up. And if that's too small, if it's on the boundaries, it'll like run over, and that's not going to be good. So. All right, so now we're going to take this. So I want to actually try and show you guys this. All right, so I'm going to try and do it here and not make a mess, so you can see how runny this is and its consistency. So you see, very, very, very runny. There's a lump or two in there, but that should be okay. So now I'm just going to scrape the bowl out, and like a high heat rubber spatula works better for this. All right, I just don't have one by my hand. So I'll just use, I like these little things. I can bend them and flex them. All right, so let me see if I can do that, and then you guys can see. So waste not, want not, All right, so there we go. Get all of the goody stuff into the pan. The only problem with this is when you put it under strain like that, when it comes out, it shoots. So if it's aimed at your face, or to the wall, or to whatever. All right, so we got that done. I'm going to pop this guy down here, that guy in there, and that guy in there. All right. Okay, so that we're going to put in the oven. The oven we set to 300. I set mine to 300. This is a high heat. You could probably get away with like a 325. This thing's got like high impact, like high volume. And then what I'm going to do, all right, let me just see, because this thing's got such a lot of wind, I've got 2 pans. I'm going to put one top and one bottom just to try and regulate it a little better. All right, there we go. That's why those pans are so black. They get used as placeholders. All right, so I'm going to set it for 15. Let me see what my recipe says. All right, I should have sprayed my tub, man. So remember to spray. It'll come loose, but you've got to spray it and keep it, keep it loose. So, all right, now we're going to make the sauce for this guy. Is this me? What? Oh, my daughter made some whipped cream and I see the evidence. I ask her to always clean my workstation when she's done. Oh, and by the way, someone was commenting about my out of code plug. I just want to brag that I fixed it. All right, so my plug's back in code. All right, so we're going to make the sauce now. So this dessert gets saturated with a sauce, like a sweet sauce. So for that sauce, what we need is probably a quarter, like a quarter cup of sugar. You can add like a teaspoon or two to that. So it's 65 grams. So a quarter cup will be 55 grams. You want to do a cup and 2 teaspoons basically. And then we're going to do a tablespoon of butter. All right, so that's 15 grams. We're going to do a tablespoon of butter. All right, and then we're going to do a quarter cup of milk. Now you can heat this up, but we're going to stick it on the range, so it doesn't matter. All right, so a quarter cup of milk. That'll be 60 grams. Sorry, when this thing's so full, it's very hard to pour. So again, I was at 50. So one cap takes me to 58, or it was 49, 58, 60, 62. That's fine. That's all good. All right, and then Nicole's busy with a customer quick, so I'll see. So we've got the sugar, milk, and then, okay, so let me give you the breakdown. So the sauce consists of water, sugar, milk, and vanilla essence. All right, now I never put my vanilla essence in when I start, because if you put the vanilla essence in when you start, then it evaporates. So I put that in the end. I put that in, and this is going to go very, very fast. I'm going to just take my whisk out here, and I'll just run it with a whisk by hand. And then if you give me 1 second, I'm going to get a splash of hot water, because I forgot to get that. So give me 1 second, I'll be right back. I just want to put a little bit of hot water from my urn, which is in the back here. So let me just fill that up. There we go. That's only 60 grams of water. So I just, get the last little bit of milk out. So while I get the water, and I get that little bit of goodness in there. So I'm going to make sure, so 65 grams of water. So the water is also, it's like a quarter cup plus a teaspoon. All right, the quarter cup we work on 240, so 240 grams. So you can see it's kind of the liquid. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, I don't want to tilt it too far. I don't want to let it fall over. All right, so now this we're going to bring to a boil, so we can get all the stuff melted and the sugar melted and everything nice and warm, because you want the warm sauce to go into the cake. All right, and I'll show you when that cake comes out. And we will, all right, don't leave your sugar at the bottom. It might crystallize and caramelize and stuff. All right, this is a very, very nice dessert. And I'm going to use the same exact pot, and I'm going to make some custard, which we could actually start with while we're waiting for this and that. Then we start with the custard. So we sell this Mrs. Bird's custard powder. It's the most popular one I know of. There's a few different ones you can buy. I like the Mrs. Bird's. I'm going to make a lot of custard. Well, not a lot. I'm going to make one basically serving. So what it says, all right, I'm just going to follow the instructions on this. So it says mix 2 heaped tablespoons, so 35 grams. So I'm going to do that. Before I do that, and sugar in a saucepan. So 2 heaps in a saucepan. Measure. All right. So the way I'm not going to follow that. The way I do it is I mix cold milk. So I'll take it's 568. So they want 1 pint of milk. So I'm going to take 60 grams or the 68 grams, and I'm going to mix my custard powder and my sugar into that. All right, so 9. I don't. This thing messes too much if I pour. So I'm going to take the, say, 70 grams. I'm just going to round it to 570. All right. So I'll put the 70 grams in here. All right. 48, 56, 63. It's almost like it's 9 grams every time, you know. 71. So it's 9 to 10 grams in a lid, depending on how full you make it. And if you're not in a rush, you'll get your 10 grams. So I'm going to take that, and then I'm going to take, so let's see, 35. So I'm sure I can pick a bigger spoon than that one. So I'm going to do 35 grams, all right, of custard powder. So I was at 70, so I'm going to go to 105. All right, that's boiling nicely. All right, you can have this boil just a little for 5. All right, so we've got 105 grams on this. All right, and I'm going to take the spatula.
Sorry, I've been quiet for a little bit.
Oh,
I've
no,
got
customer.
Hida making a comment that most recipes are a bit flexible, even ones for cake and cookies, but candy not so much, as long as it comes to proper temp, of course,
Yes.
and before mixing in nuts.
Yeah, even the baking ones, you got to be a little careful if you go too far out of whack. Like food is fine, like like a handful of salt, 5 grams of salt, like. But the baking ones, especially if you get a little specialized, it won't come out right if you're not real careful.
I have Plant's heel on and Cole's towing.
Hey, that's very cool. Coles, how are you, man? 60. So I'm gonna put the sugar in here. So this. Oh, it's 60. So that's 20. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong. I'm reading my sauce instead of the. So sugar 35 grams. So that's cool. I was at 20. So that's 40. That's 20. 55. And you can of course add a little bit more sugar if you want it sweeter. So I'm going to add another teaspoon because we want it a little sweeter. If you want it thicker, you can add more custard powder. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a paste out of this. Now custard, if you actually put it in the saucepan, it will immediately solidify. I was waiting for that, these things. It will immediately solidify. Or start thickening, because as soon as you cook it, it's got cornstarch in it. So as soon as you cook it, it'll start thickening because it cooks the cornstarch. So the way I'm used to making this, and that's why I said I thought I'd followed that on the last recipe, but apparently I made it like this and didn't listen to the recipe, which is a good thing. So you dissolve your sugar, your custard powder in a portion of the milk. So you make a little bit of custard kind of on the side, break up all your lumps. What I find is if you just put the custard powder straight in the hot milk, it clumps. You get clumps. So this is how I'm used to making custard from, that I've learned from my grandmother and my mother and everybody that used to make this is how it's made. And I guess different custard recipes follow different things, but this is how I'm used to making it. So I'm not going to take a chance and mess it up on camera, because then there's like evidence. I don't like that. All right, so this is good. So now we'll just leave this here, and then we're going to so let's just get this back on here. Well, we at. I want to see what this looks like. That looks very good. I'm very happy I used that. I'm very happy I used that. I'm going to jack that up a little bit. So we had like 325. All right. So you know what? Apparently I'm not using the same pot because I'm waiting for everything and everything's taking longer. So I'm going to put the rest of the custard in here. All right. So it's 570 according to that, 568, 570. So I'm going to put the rest of the milk in this guy. All right, which is the remaining half liter, which is 500 grams. And so here's the thing. If you want to thicken the custard a little, if you think it's not thick enough, then you could just add a little bit more custard powder. If you don't think it's sweet enough, you can add another teaspoon of sugar. So and then this we're going to just leave on the range and get that to heat up. And I can exchange that with this if I need to. So I'm going to wait till the end. So just before that's ready, I'll what's the name? I'll put the vanilla in the sauce. So I've got to remember that. So I'll keep this here. All right, so I'm done with that. I'm going to put that guy in there. So I'll just collect all my dishes on the edge there. All right, there we go. So we got sugar and custard powder over there. We're done with the sieve. So all I got is my custard powder, my vanilla. And I mean, if you want, you can drop a little bit of vanilla in your custard as well. It'll just give it an extra little bit of flavor. So vanilla, we call it vanilla essence. We call it vanilla essence. You guys call it like vanilla extract, but it's not the pure stuff. That stuff's real expensive. This is just throw together desserts. You know, we don't use the very expensive stuff when you just make something like this. So I'm gonna take a peek at that at the cake part. I'm gonna see. Yeah, that's a little runny, but it's looking very good. I'm very happy I used that. That thing is almost to the top, so this thing would have run way over. So I'm very happy I didn't go that route. And then the missus is just busy with some customers. She'll come and read me the chat, and then I can have a splab to you guys for a second while we wait. And then, of course, you know the magic. So you can get yourself from Sam's, like Sam's or Costco or online or whatever. Don't fall. You can get yourself some alcohol swabs. So I just keep a temperature probe in my kitchen. So I probe everything, you know. So, and then just you can clean the probe with some alcohol, right? You make sure it's clean, and then we can stick this guy in here and see where we're at. So we're at 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And make sure the lumps are out of this guy. Otherwise, we have lumpy custard, which we don't want. Lumpy custard, no good. And just as another tip, if you ever do end up with custard that's too lumpy, because, you know, if you don't stir it right or something like that, it might solidify at the bottom too much, and then you get lumps. Take a strainer, like a sieve like this, and you just pour your custard through it, and you just rub it, and that should take most of the lumps out. If you want to do something like that, all right, this thing's got 2 minutes. So we got about 5 minutes left on the dessert side. On the cake side, I've got 2 minutes plus another 5 when I turn it. It should be done in about 20. So we should be so something else I've mentioned before, but of course there's always new people coming in. So if you check for internal temp on cakes, you're looking for 195 to 200 degrees, it's done. So if you look at bread, it's 195 to 200. If you look at like cakes and stuff like that, there's the old trick of you stick your toothpick in and then you pull it out and you got to see if there's stuff. Probe. Buy yourself a temperature probe, 195 to 200, done. Banana bread is the one exception that I've found. That wants to be closer to 205 to 210. Otherwise, you can have it a little mushy.
Sorry, I'm a little behind on all of the chats going on right now, but the clean the probe got the attention.
Yes,
of course.
Yes.
And aliens are probing, so you know.
So what I wanted to say is, you take your alcohol swab, all right, and then you clean the probe, paying special attention to the tip. All right, so.
I'm glad everything is clean now. Thank you.
Yes,
thank you, King.
Spotless.
All right, I've got Unfolding Joker on as well.
Sorry, say that again.
Unfolding Joker has come, and Space Choo Choo.
Okay, well, Mr. Joker, so we will. Well, I hope it's a Mr. I don't know. I don't want to assume anybody's gender here, you know. But
there are two.
Yes, but maybe it's a Mrs. You know. So I'm gonna try with some of the next. I want to see if I can do the recipes and then release it with because there was a good suggestion. I think it's really cool. I'll release the recipe, try and do it beforehand, and then you guys can buy the ingredients or get it in your house and then cook with me. So because my oven is completely crazy and it's got a massive fan, I'm going to turn this around Otherwise, it's going to brown only one side, and it's still a little shaky on top. All right, so that's definitely going to need another 5 minutes or so, and that should be enough time for us to actually get the custard done. So we had 125, 126. We want this at scalding. So you don't want to boil it. You want it at scalding temperature. Scalding is like 180 to 185 to 195 or something like that. Boiling is 212. So you want it under boiling. You don't want it anything 180 and up. We can actually add that to that. If you add it now, you're gonna have to sit here and stir. If you don't, then you can just kind of let your milk just kind of slowly heat up. All right.
Cole's Towing did have a question.
Sure.
Doesn't cornstarch make that new Newtonian stuff, the stuff that you can punch but it still flows?
Yeah, I saw that. You know, you talk about that. My kids were watching something on what's that, Mad Science or Science Max or something like that.
Max.
And if you get your water and your cornstarch ratios right, if you stand on it, you'll sink, but you can run over it. So if you kind of punch it, it's hard. But if you slowly push your hand into it, it will sink in. That was pretty cool. And my kids tell me all kinds of stuff that I never knew. TV and technology is amazing.
And Hita Broccoli is making a shepherd's pie for dinner. They are finally cold enough for a casserole. Can you send
cool.
that cold air down here, please?
Yeah. So I have an awesome cottage pie that I wanted to make today, but too many ingredients. I'm busy, so I'm busy actually with a guy called Jack Spierko. He is the guy that runs the Survival podcast. So they are live right now. They've got a 3-day event, and I was there this morning, and I'm presenting tomorrow. So I'm going to be live on his channel, and his channel is live right now as they go through the presentations. But I will be there tomorrow, 1:30 Central. So that not 1:30. Well, 1:25. 1:30. 1:30 Central. 2:30 Eastern time. I will actually be doing what I did on the Biltong video. I will be doing that live on air on his channel and showing people how to do that kind of thing. So, all right. So we had 150. All right. So I'm going to start. Take my whisk out here. I'm sorry, my other whisk, I put it next door in my storage area and I forgot to go fetch it because I don't make this stuff all the time. So I just want to make sure the milk doesn't burn at the bottom. There we go, 158, 160. All right, make sure this is loose. And then I'm going to use my other probe with a cake. Let's see where that's at. Let me see. All right, that's still a little loose, so that's good. I could probably make my custard. So we're going for 20 minutes when this hits the 3-minute mark.
I have to add in, I don't think this is part of the biltong diet we are on right now, which is why the whisk is packed away.
Yes. Well, the thing is, you know, for the majority, we make biltong, and we have a retail store. So I used to do this all the time and make it for, we had a restaurant, but we got like 300 5-star Google reviews or something, but food, not a lot of money, a lot of work. It's an absolute labor of love, man. So I'm like, nope, I'm out. I'll rather just make the biltong. And also, scalability is the problem. So if you are in a either bad spot or what you make is very specialized, and you don't get enough like foot traffic, you know, COVID and everything else that's happened, it's very difficult to ramp that up and make it big.
It's also difficult if you go against the city council, the mayor, and the school board and suggest better policies. Just throwing that out there.
So I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because we've told the story.
Just saying. That makes it difficult.
So we've severely pissed off the city council and we've severely pissed off the school board because we don't agree with a lot of the bullshit. So of course they demonized us, and then a lot of people don't want to come here. So that had us end up on Rumble, which then got us all of you guys. So that makes me very happy because now I don't have to deal with their bullshit. We have customers and they are not local. We have a few local customers, which we of course are very appreciative of, but the majority of our business is shipments. And you get to enjoy the awesome stuff people around here get to miss. So I'm going to pour this in here. All right. was waiting for that because, you know, I got to work with a half fucking spanner. Anyway, that could just stay right there. So I'm going to put this in there, and I don't want to take too long because the heat will start solidifying things. So I'm going to try and get this in there real quick. All right. And then I got to remember the vanilla. So I'm going to kill this and give it another 2 minutes. All right. Because that cake was a little loose. And it is, it's not a, well, I guess it's solid, but it's kind of airy. You'll see when it comes out. So I'm just gonna, and I don't know, I've got a weird technique when I do this. I kind of stir in one spot and I just keep turning my pot. So we were at like 175.
Big Floppa says that he needs to make some pilgrimage to our store one of these days. He found us through Sticks and Quartering.
Okay, cool. Yeah, come on out, man. We are here most of the time, but we are normally working. So, you know, because that's the American dream, you know. But you know what? I don't mind. At least we have jobs. You know what I'm saying? We have the ability to work. We are healthy enough to work. So I'm very, very blessed having that ability and having the opportunity, and you know, interfacing with you guys and everything like that. It's cool, and it's an experience, man. It's a real experience. So this is getting close to getting thicker. So I'm gonna get this done, and then once this is thick, all right, which should be soon, that the cake should be done. All right. So, and this is an awesome dessert. Honestly, it's an awesome dessert.
Cole's Towing gives you some respect for figuring out the best guerrilla marketing campaign he's ever seen.
Thank you very much. Yes. You know, I've been talking about that what I've done. I've spoken to people about that probably for 18 months before I did it, and nobody understood what I wanted to do and what I was talking about. And even today, when I tell people, look, what you have to do, and I explain what I'm doing, they just look at me with big eyes. I don't know. Anyway, I will accept the compliment. Thank you very much, sir. So this, I'm not going to make it too thick. You're going to see it's very, very runny. So, you know what? We can thicken that up just a little. All right. That's now the trick with this guy is you cannot leave him. All right. You cannot leave him because he will burn. Let me see if I grab this guy. There we go. That's almost done. You know what? I can thicken that. It's pretty much done. It's probably at 200 already. All right. And this will eventually boil if you keep going, because it just gets too hot. That looks good. That looks good. I'll thicken it a little more. Let me just check the temperature on this guy. I don't want to overdo it. Yeah, 190. There we go. This is perfect. So there goes the cake. So can you see this in the window, Nicole?
Yes.
Okay,
but
so
it smells incredible in here.
Yeah, my oven's got some few floaty bits. That's actually from the pan. It's from those black pans. It's not from the oven. I just want to.
Plants, he'll ask for a little bit of history. When did you move from South Africa?
I moved, so I've been in and out since 2013. I'm not going to give you all the details today, maybe in future, but I came here in 2015 for a visit. Plan was to come here in 2016 in April, but as I left South Africa, there was a few issues, so I just kind of came here and then just kept extending my visa. So I came here in the 31st of August 2015, and then I extended my visa to December. I'm going to put this guy down here just so you guys can see it. And just by the way, my hands are used to working with a lot more heat. So just because I can grab something doesn't mean everybody can do that. I'm not saying nobody else can do it, but just be aware that it can be hot. That's actually good. Actually, A little bit, just a little thicker, just a little longer, a little bit. So I'm gonna go grab my other whisk because I want to heat that up a little bit, so you can see the cake. So, and this thing is loose. I didn't really need to spray the sides, but that's better. It's more advisable. It's like spray the sides. All right. So get me the other whisk like this, please, because I have to work like a mechanic with no spanners.
Hearing your comments around the wall, I feel like I shouldn't be walking away.
All right, so I just want to reheat this a little, just because the butter starts floating at the top. So this is the sauce. I've got to do the vanilla. All right, so we're going to do 5 grams, 1 teaspoon.
We've got Key Lime Warrior here and John from Earth.
Hey, John from Earth. I normally see him in the quartering Discord. So,
and we do have a few people from Viva, just FYI as well.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, Viva's a cool cat, man. So a lot of people will tell you that this should be darker. I don't mind it too light. I prefer, the dessert looking more kind of vanilla-like because it is a vanilla cake. So now what we're going to do is we're going to saturate this guy with some syrup. All right, you pour all of this over this guy. There we go, and it's going to drink it all up. All right, so I'm going to switch the range off because we don't need that anymore. All right, and then just FYI, if you don't keep stirring your custard, it will make a little crust on top. And the way you stop that is you actually take cellophane and then you lay it over your custard so no air gets in, which is, I'm not going to do that right now because we don't need to do that. And then let this just pull in nicely. Do you mind getting me a spatula, a little white one? The metal head ones, and a plate, a white plate. Okay. I'm not going to put it in a bowl because they won't be able to see the effect in the bowl. Have I got more questions?
Yes, Cole's Towing actually has a interesting statement. His missus is from Sweden, and they're struggling to get her here full time. It's been 3 years now, and they're still fighting. So he's very curious about you and how you got here and how all of that evolved, because as we well know, coming legally is a very difficult task.
So, all right. So I was here on a work permit. Now, I don't know how that changes things from a work permit versus like a visitor's permit. But to my knowledge, and this is just me, this is not legal advice, so like disclaimer, like I'm not giving you any legal advice, man. If you come here and get married, you should be able to, with your marriage certificate or your marriage license that you guys have here, you should be able to apply for a change of status visa. And then with that, she can stay. So you should be able to apply for a change of status. And I think it's an I-130 form or something. And then from there, you can actually apply for a green card. So what happened with me is I came in, I came in August, end of August 2015, went back in December, came back in January, met Nicole in February, went back for business in July.
End of June.
Came back beginning August, but then there was some screw up with my visa. So I came through customs, and then they were like, you seem to be taking chances. So they hauled me into an office and kept me there for like, 4-6 hours or something like that. So I phoned Nicole when I landed, and I'm like, hey, I'm here, and I'll see you later. Because we were obviously at that time, so we were together already for 4 months. But no, I'm lying. We met in April. And April, May, June. So it was like 3 months, give or take. And then we were talking over the phone when I was that side, and like she was anxiously awaiting me coming back. So I've messaged her when I got to the airport, and I'm here and everything. She was working at the hospital at the time. So then they hauled me off, and I disappeared for like 6 hours. So she was worried, sick. And then I came out, and what they did is they reduced my visa from 3 years to 1 year. So I had to leave within and
1 year from issuance.
1 year from issuance, which means they issued it in January. I left in June, end of June, got back in August, beginning August, and I had to leave again January and reapply for a new business visa, which took me from 2012 to 2015 to get, and cost me $10,000.
I was gonna say just a few bucks.
Yes. So she, you know, when we spoke that evening and I was home and she was very happy and stuff, she was like, yeah, we're getting married. And I said, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. And she said, no, we're getting married. And we went to bed and she said, we're getting married. And the 10th of November in 2016, we were married. So, yeah, there we go. So this is your, let me see if I got a clean spatula. All right, so let me just wipe this one off. This had the custard powder on. Let me see if this is nice in the camera. So that's your dessert, and you can see how nice. It's like a wet cake almost. This is very, very nice. My heart inside is crying because I cannot eat this.
And the smell-o-vision that was mentioned, can I send it to you so I don't have to be tortured anymore?
So let me see. Let me see if I can be completely obnoxious. All right, so, and then what you do with this, can you see that?
Oh, clearly.
All right, so. I'm about to make some kids very happy.
This was our customer's absolute favorite dessert when we had the cafe. This or the ice cream.
All right, so I'm not going to do the fancy, like, wipe through the plate. And so normally we'll do this in a bowl. You can see why. Malva pudding.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. So that is about as nice a dessert as you can find. I will honestly try and get this thing's recipe out. If you guys make this at Thanksgiving, you are going to blow people's minds. I'm telling you. This is an absolute stunningly delicious dessert. So that is that. I thought I was going to make some cookies, but I actually worked a little slower today and had time to talk, so that's nice. Any other comments? So, before I forget, this stream is sponsored by Land of Biltong or biltongusa.com, landofbiltong.com. Buy some biltong if you want to support us. Like, subscribe, share, please share. We're trying to expand this a little. My son's sleeping, otherwise I would have shown you him, but he went to bed late. Yeah, we got some dried sausages. We got that we packed. We pre-packed new recipe. Awesome. US Wagyu Ghost. So we got some ghost pepper. So we are working on changing our packaging, which is like you will not believe the investment in packaging. It's like
small kidney.
Yes, it's like half a kidney. Like anybody want one? I got one. It's like 20 grand just to buy packaging. So it's interesting. We at that point where we're too small to go big and we're too big to be small. So but it seems like you are perpetually stuck in that. So
it sounds like Nate, who was going to come out as trans but decided making the dessert is easier.
Yes. That's less painful than lobbing off and sewing over. Your twig and berries. That's yeah, and then it kind of looks ugly. You know what I'm saying? Oh, don't forget the permanent insertion tool that you also got to carry around with you. To keep that open wound gaping.
I can't even visualize that.
No, I know. It's interesting.
That is something I could go without hearing again.
Yes, me too. Well, the problem is I got the vision in my brain now, and my brain is scarred for life. So, any other comments? So,
Cult Gaming has arrived.
Oh, nice.
Just so you know, Cole's Towing has commitment issues, but we'll help him.
With a lady from Sweden?
No. He's been through a bad divorce before.
Yes.
So it's hard for him.
Oh, I had two of those. The one. Should I share?
You can a little bit. I'm gonna have to step away and take
Okay, no problem. So, one injured. Yeah, give me the phones. So one kind of got injured, nothing to do with me. Got, sourced up and then hit itself in the face by climbing over something and slipping, and then promptly called the cops and made an assault case. So that was interesting. Talk about bad divorces, It's I was saying to somebody the other day, I said, instead, don't pick, the progressive leftist crazies, because you will have your wealth and your soul extracted by your scrotum. Don't do that. So let's see. Sarge is still there. Yeah, hey, Sarge is still there. YouTube is quiet, but that's okay. I don't mind. Big Flopper wasn't late. Actually, no. So I can't set up. I didn't set up a start time. The start time was 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern. So Big Flopper was not late. Let's see. Sticks in the quartering. Aish Cult Gaming. Oh, how many hours in tattoos? Dude, don't, like, my kids are like, Dad, what's that? I tell them, no, I fell asleep on a wet newspaper. So, but yeah, a lot of time and a lot of money that I could have spent better. So I never thought I was going to have kids, and I ended up with this. So yeah, I don't know if I made the best decisions, but it's lots of hours. It's at least 2 to 3 weeks because I got more. But yeah. Actually, no. Plant shield. No, that's a good point. I think I do have an Anton's 10, but I don't think the code is active anymore. I'll put that out. That's cool. Yeah, that's a good idea. Then I can at least see from my stream what we get. That is a very good idea. So yeah, but I think, we hit the 4 o'clock mark. If everybody is happy and everybody has got what they want, I still think that is a real pretty dessert. Man, and this thing, the temptation to just take a spoon and fucking eat it is incredible, but I can't because we're doing a biltong diet, as everybody probably, well, I don't know, I don't want to say everybody, but so myself and the missus, we decided we're going to do a biltong diet. My sensor had some shit today, but I'll show you guys. So let me see if I can find, just to give you an idea. Where's the daily patterns? So just to give you an idea, so that's pretty much what your gluten does, or your glucose does, when you're on meat only. It's like hardly any spikes, man. The thing is just like a line graph, you know what I'm saying? So it's pretty good. Actually, I can do better than that. I took a picture. My sensor, I rubbed my arm and it came off, which is very disappointing. Did I take a picture of it? I think I did. I'll show you guys quick if I can find it. Screenshots. Yeah, there we go. Let me do that. So that's what it looks like. It's just flat. There's just like nothing happening. So it's very, very cool. And what I found was, if you have to have some sugar, if you have like protein, so if you have breakfast like eggs and bacon and stuff, and then you have coffee with sugar, the spikes are not as high. So it's pretty cool. So anyway, I think that is that. I had to close my YouTube stream or my Rumble stream so I could go into my phone. I can go get it open again quick. Just see if there's any more chats. Sorry, I'm like a monkey poking a football here apparently. Let's see. Oh, Switzerland. Hey, cool, man. Welcome in. And then, yes, Noble is right. He's taking the biltong challenge. So let me do this for the biltong challenge. So we've got this thing going, biltong challenge. Last entry date. I need to go update Facebook. It is on X, on our Anton's South African market, our Anton's page, not my page. So 1st of February is the last entry date. So I thought we wanted to end it in November, but it's festive season, so people don't want to fuck around with diets right now. So, but after Christmas, everybody wants to diet. So we're gonna make the last date of entry. we're going to make the 1st of February. All right. So if you buy 2 pounds of biltong in a 4-week period, so you can buy 2 pounds at once, or you can buy a pound a week, or how, you know, for 2 weeks, or every second week, or however. So we don't require you to do biltong only. What we do ask is that you increase your protein and add biltong. All right, and you can do it to gain weight, to stabilize, to lose weight, however you want, doesn't matter. So you buy 2 pounds of biltong in a 4-week period, and then what's the code, Nicole, for the biltong challenge? I can't remember the code.
Fit 24.
Fit 24.
FIT.
Yes,
24.
FIT. Fit 24. I don't know why I forgot that. So Fit 24, you use that code, you get 10% off your biltong, and then you take a picture of, you can do yourself on a scale, you could do yourself in a mirror, whatever you want, and you tag our pages. That automatically enrolls you with that code, all right, and the picture activates you, and then you enrolled, and the first prize is $600 worth of biltong, the second prize is $300, and the third prize is $100 worth of biltong. So for a very small investment, you can win a whole lot of biltong, and we will do a live draw on this show.
Don't forget, we do need to have the scale, beginning, scale, end, just to show that you made the effort for 28 days.
Or, you know, yourself, beginning, end, or whatever.
However you'd like to.
Yeah, and we don't require you only eat biltong. We require that you include biltong in your diet, or at least increase your protein and buy some biltong, and you can increase your protein by including the biltong. I think that's it. I think that's the stream. I don't mind. I mean, I will stand here all day talking nonsense. Hey, Sarge threw some money our way. Teamwork, bitches. Yeah.
Thank you, Sarge.
I like it. Thank you. And then Queen of Biltong, if we do it before Christmas, can we enter twice by doing it against next? You can enter as many times as you want. There's no limit on entries, man. And if you win all 3 prizes, well, I guess we'll limit it to one prize.
One prize per person.
Give Brian all 3 prizes.
I will say, did you tell him how you're feeling on this biltong only diet? Did you talk about it?
No, I haven't. So it's like my demeanor is very even. It's, you know, when you have starches, well, I haven't had starches for a while, but the sugars and stuff like that, you kind of have peaks and drops as you, ebbs and flows as you eat the different. With this, it's my temperament seems to be very kind of even keel, and I've got a very good amount of energy, but it's not like, you know, you want to like murder yourself and then nothing, you know, like full like binary, you know, fucking 1 and then 0. No. It's not that. It's. I've got a very good, steady, high energy pace, so that helped a lot.
I will say my energy's gone up a lot. I feel a lot more productive, and if I'm not productive, I notice I don't sleep as well.
Yes, that's yeah. You got to be productive. You got to work, man.
Yes.
Finboy just popped in, so he said, "Damn it, I spent all day waiting for this and then missed most of it." Well, dude. Don't worry, you can go back to the beginning and you can watch it. It's not an issue.
It was a Malva pudding.
Yes, it was a Malva pudding. It is very good. I will show the picture again for anybody who missed it. That looks so good. Bring a spoon.
Right.
Oh, man. I'm just
trying to... No spoon needed right now.
Yeah, right. This is, oh, man, that is my kids. You know, and my son's been a shit the last week. An absolute terrorist. Because he's a boy and he's my son, so I understand.
And they're not meant to sit still.
Yes, give me 2 plates there, quick. Bowls. And I told him no dessert, but I'm gonna have to give him this. This is too good, man. Let me see last chats here. All right, girls. How do you track your level? You show an app. What? Yes, it's an app. So I gotta. Let me see if I can, because I ripped the other one off. So I got a glucose sensor. So you gotta get a script for it. You can't just go buy them. Don't know why, because, you know, but anyway, so I put a glucose sensor. So what I did was I wanted to do this right. So we did a fasting blood test the day before we started, before we started the biltong diet, before we ate, we did a fasting blood test. And on the 28th day, the morning, before we finish that day, we're doing a fasting blood test again. So basically the Tuesday night is the last we have to do the diet. And then Wednesday morning, we're going to have...
next Wednesday.
Yeah, next Wednesday. And then we can have eggs.
Eggs and bacon.
You will not believe how much I miss a fucking egg. Just an egg.
More than anything.
You know, biltong is cool, man. But, you know, you have it 3 times a day for 28 days. And, yeah,
Still tastes incredible.
No, it's cool.
I like your meat.
Yes, apparently you do. That's why she married me. Yeah, biltong. But anyway, so eggs, man. I would just the egg would be cool. So let's see. So that's Coles. I answered him. I have noticed I don't crash as much with lower carbs. I use either cheese or biltong for snack craving instead of chips or carbs. Exactly, Noble. That's exactly. So instead of sticking carbs in there, so instead of eating potato chips or like dried pretzels, or because those I can't remember the make. It's Schindler or Shish, something with a CH.
SCH, yeah.
Yes, SCH. The little dried pretzels and those little like
the ones
pretzel.
with peanut butter used to be your favorite.
Oh, the little peanut butter shell things, man. I used to just like and just
Biggest container gone the same day.
Yeah. No, I would like empty. Like I would eat half those bigger. I would just eat half of that thing. I'd love those things, but Cole says it, Queen. I love your meat. Yes. You should ask Mrs.
You cannot
Sarge,
steal my comments here. That is trademarked.
Yes, there is some fat in biltong. That's the one thing. So if you go full carnivore, like full protein only, like meat, you've got to make sure you get your fat in. If you don't get your fat in, you're going to feel real bad. So you've got to either do a lot of butter or you've got to buy fatty biltong. So I eat a lot of the biltong I eat is very fatty. Here we go, Mrs. Sarge. Oh, wow. I blush every time she says that. Mrs. Sarge says, I love Anton's meat in my mouth. So there you guys have it. On good authority. On great authority. I still have a cheat day when I eat some carbs, but when it's wheat or sugar, I notice an immediate drop in energy. Exactly. So look, there's nothing wrong with a cheat day. So I've been listening to a lot of these like high protein, like carnivore type guys and stuff. And what they do is they say, you live on carnivore, cheat on keto. So you kind of cheat with keto meals. What I did hear one guy say, which makes a lot of sense, is if you go over onto like a high protein carnivore type style diet, what your body does is it will always burn sugar first. Okay. And now if you increase your fat intake because you're not taking sugar, your body switches over into burning fats for energy. But as soon as you eat sugar, it'll swap back to sugar burning. All right. And that's why your glucose shoot up and stuff like that. But now you start storing fat because you don't need to burn the fat. You're burning the sugar you're eating. So you'll immediately start picking up weight. And it's not good for like your cholesterol levels and stuff like that. That's where like stuff start going out of whack. Just according to what those guys say.
Or your body gets a little angry at you. I'll admit I was bad. Anton got on to me and said, you need to remember we're on carnivore, stay on carnivore. And I reaped some of the not so nice benefits from going back and forth. So being on this has really helped my body level out again. Yeah,
I mean, I hear a lot of people, they say they're going to do a juice cleanse, or I tell you what, man, I reckon you do a real good cleanse just eating. I don't want to say biltong. I mean, obviously, I want to say biltong because I make it. But if you do a meat, like a clean meat, just with salt and stuff, that'll clean you out, man. It settles your entire body. It's very interesting. Yes, exactly. So I love rice, says Noble, especially with curry. So when I have some, I set a rice limit to eat more veggies or meat. Yes, exactly. The thing is, vegetables will give you volume, but not a lot of carbs. So, excuse me. Let me just see. Coles, dear Sarge, laughing. Dear Sarge, Mrs. Sarge is not cheating. If it's Anton's meat, Tyrone and we'll have a divorce. Tyrone's and we'll have a divorce. Yeah, exactly. It's not cheating when it's me. Anybody else? Divorce. Yeah, I agree with that. Bacon and eggs is my favorite breakfast. Exactly. That is awesome. Bacon and eggs is good. We do biltong and eggs because we make the biltong. But I tell you something, man. I made bacon for my kids the other day and I couldn't eat a piece. That was a sad fucking day. Let's just see. Head up broccoli. I'm quite a bit underweight for my height. I want the protein for energy and stop any further muscle atrophy. Yeah, but so you should try it. So why don't you try? But like buy a pound and see what it does. Go to Biltong USA. I don't have a free shipping code for me, unfortunately. But what I can do, so why don't you go? You can use Styx, STYX. All right, head up broccoli. Go to biltongusa.com, use code STICKS. Buy £1, code STICKS will give you free shipping. You can use it once and then it won't work again. Use code STICKS once, like I said, it'll work once, and just buy £1 and try and eat it and see how you like it and see if it helps you. But it's very high in iron, very high in protein. It's really good stuff. I mean, I've lost, I think, 3 and a little bit kilos in 3 weeks. But I feel strong and I don't feel like I'm missing food or anything. And you know, if you look at the calorie count, so I eat an eighth of a pound. An eighth of a pound is 130 calories. I eat, so quarter, so what's that? That's 8 times 160. It's like, it's just over 1,000, maybe 1,200 calories a day that I eat. If I ate that on starches, I would be fucking dead. I would not be able to function because it's very saturating or satiating. You know, you don't need a lot of meat and you can really go a long way on it. So, and it's really good for your muscles. I found a lot of my joint pains and stuff like that, cramps and just, you know, fucking old guy bullshit. It went away because I've removed all of the other crap out of my diet. So, all right, did I miss anything? Let me see. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, that's the YouTube one I closed. So let me open that and make sure. All right. Let me just make sure there's nothing in the YouTube chat. Nope, the YouTube chat's quiet. All right, Rumble is where the action is, man. Yeah, biltong with the omelette is great. Chop up, saute the biltong and scramble the eggs in it. Yeah, absolutely. I know, Noble, because you know what? I don't think of myself, man. I always work with everybody else, so I should have my own code. You're right. Biltong omelette, yeah, good snack. Exactly, Ada. I bought your biltong before. It's yummy. All right, well, we'll try that. I mean, you know, if you look at the health benefits of biltong, and you know, as soon as it's very expensive. It's like $2,500 to send the biltong in to go have an actual lab test done on it to get the proper nutrients. So what I've done is I've worked on a nutrient program, and you know, some of it's assumption based, but you know, the meat, so the majority of it, because it's 95% meat, I mean, you just put the meat in and you get the calories, and then the rest is like the salts and stuff like that. Once we get some money, I'm going to send it in for an actual test so we can have a lab tested and give us the actual proper calories. But it's $2,500 per test is what we've heard.
Yes.
So, and we've got, you know, a whole bunch of different ones. So it's going to cost us about 40 grand probably to get everything tested.
When we grow up one day.
Yes, one day when we are big. You know, it's just for 40 grand, you know, I could go probably put half my foundation down for the building we want to put up and get out of this, you know, Dodge City. So, all right, I think that's it. Yeah, all right, we got to go. I got to go do some stuff. What is, if I only eat organic human that eat only biltong, will I get double power?
Only if you ask the cabal. Sorry.
Yes, only if you are endorsed by the cabal. Then yes. 1 pound of meat, quarter pound of butter a day. Yeah, that works. That's perfect. You know, got to get that fat, man. People forget about the fat. That was Plant Shield. Is 1 pound of meat with a quarter pound of butter a day. Yeah, absolutely. Finboy, you've been kind. I'm tempted to share my super secret no-bake cheese pie recipe with you. Well, send it, man, and we can make it. Absolutely. I don't mind people sending us some recipes. You know, eventually I'm going to run out of my own. So yeah, I'm going to have to do some research. And then Switzerland, oh shit, silly serial killer question, says Dear Sarge. Yeah, biltong, Switzerland, biltong, yes. All right, so I think that's it. We're going to go offline. I think Nicole just went to the front to go deal with the customer, so I'm going to disappear in front of the camera and I'm going to kill it. I will see you guys on Sunday. No stream tomorrow. See you Sunday. Have a great day, man. And remember, like, subscribe, follow. Thank you guys very much. Cheers. All right, let's murder the stream.